The sex trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell resumes today. She's the British socialite accused of recruiting and grooming girls for disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Today, the defense is set to open its case after the prosecution rested last week, earlier than expected. Maxwell denies all the charges against her. NBC News investigations correspondent Tom Winter is outside the courthouse for us this morning. So, Tom, walk us through the defense team's case. What's their strategy expected to be, and is there a chance we could see Maxwell herself on the stand?
Joe, so they've telegraphed that in court papers over the last several days that they're going to try to call some of the attorneys for some of the victims, the alleged victims that have come forward so far. It appears, just based on what they've said in their filings, that they're going to try to say that the reason why they're testifying in this case, or they wanted to testify in this case, is to help their civil lawsuits and to try to get payments from Epstein's estate or from Maxwell herself. So they telegraphed that in their opening statement. They furthered that in their court filings. That might be one angle that they take. As far as Maxwell taking the stand, a lot of legal experts believe that's highly unlikely because of the questions that could be asked of her on cross-examination. For instance, Joe, why were you spending time with 14-year-old girls as they've testified in this trial? Why were you taking teenage girls on cross-country trips? Or why were you spending time with them in the company of Epstein and only Epstein without their parents? It's those type of questions, legal experts say, Joe, that could be very difficult for her if she was to take the stand.
And Tom, defense lawyers have asked the judge to allow some witnesses to testify anonymously. Why are they making that request, and why is that considered unusual?
Well, it's unusual because in most trials, the defense calls its experts, calls the witnesses it wants, and they testify by their name. It's not unusual in cases that I cover because typically they're very high-profile cases. And a lot of people don't want to come forward because in the court of public opinion, not in the courthouse behind me, people have very strong feelings about the people that are charged. In this case, Ghislaine Maxwell is certainly one of those. So people are sometimes reticent to testify for the defense, being seen as testifying on her behalf, Joe.
Tom Winter in New York. Tom, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.